BJ from Board Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Steve Davies, and we're talking spicy hot games that we have played. Here's one that I don't think you've played, but you know a little bit about. Tapestry from Stonemaier Games, a relatively unknown game that's just flown under the radar the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What do you know about Tapestry?
So I didn't pre-order it, but I am a big Stonemaier fan. You know, I've got Viticulture and Wingspan, and Scythe, but yeah, it looked interesting to me. I do like Civ 6, you know, the Sid Meier video game, and I'm curious. You know, I did watch like playthroughs of it, and just to see, because so much of, you know, Civ 6, there's so much going on in the background that the computer's doing, right, with the Civilization game. And Civilization games are just, you know, generally complicated. So it's interesting to me whenever I see one as a board game and how it does things.
Tapestry, Civilization game, I agree. Stonemaier game, definitely. It looks and plays like a Stonemaier game. And I'm curious, I'm going to put you on the spot. Where do you rank your Stonemaier games? What's your favorite? How do you rank them all?
I'll put Wingspan first. That's, I mean, it's obviously the freshest in my mind. Maybe Viticulture next, actually, and then Scythe, which isn't to say that I don't like Scythe. But I think I'm better at the other games too, so that's influencing me.
Viticulture's my favorite. It's tough between Scythe and Wingspan. I would say because my game group likes Scythe better, that I'll probably put that up there just because I know it's going to get played more. And you know, there's always a group that wants to play it online. But I really like Wingspan. Every time I've played it, I've enjoyed it more. It's one of those games where every time I play it, I like it more and more. It's not a big hit in my game group, you know. In parts of them, other guys do like it a lot, but for whatever reason, it's kind of divisive in our play group. But Viticulture is still my number one. But so back to Tapestry, I've only played it once. I played it at 3 players. On the good side, it's got that breezy nature that Stonemaier just hits it on the head every time, right? Other than Euphoria's sometimes AP inducing decisions with the dice and what you're going to do and kind of mathing out what everybody's moving. Most of the games don't really have AP, right? I mean, they just move so quickly. I love that mechanic in Scythe where if somebody else takes the top action, when they're working on their bottom action, you can start on your top action.
I know, that was very clever.
Yeah, it keeps that game moving. Viticulture, you're really just making one decision, so it doesn't take long to make the decision. I like that about Tapestry. Tapestry, at least in the game that we played, you're going to pick a track and you're going to hammer that track just like you would in any Civilization game. You know, each person is going to specialize their civilization according to what cards develop their whatever their civilization is good at, you're going to try to strengthen it and also shore up a little bit of weaknesses. But you're not going to put your eggs in all the different baskets because you just can't in any good Civilization game. You just can't.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious out there on the chat crew. So let's see what other people have to say. Marshall says Scythe. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because that Sinlaw group, they have a maxed out, tricked out Scythe set. Every single piece is upgraded. Even the factory is a big giant piece about this high that just plops in the middle of the board.
Is that something that they made, or is it something you can buy?
Marshall, let us know. Did Robert make that, or is that something 3D printed, or is that something you can get somewhere? Because I don't know the answer to that. And then he says Wingspan after Viticulture, and then waiting to play Charterstone. I'm halfway through on Charterstone. I think we're on game 6, and we just haven't finished yet. So, have you tried Charterstone?
I have not. No.
Okay. So back to Tapestry. Good things like the breeziness, like the way that the tech tracks work. I like that. I'm not sold on the artwork on the main board. It just wasn't that exciting to me. Player board's awesome. Love the artwork on the Tapestry cards.
I know what you mean. Just kind of the blue and the gray. Yeah, it's a little unexciting. Like that kind of stuck out to me too.
I mean,
It's hard though. What do
If
you?
I
What can
told
you
you
do
that
with it?
board was a Stonemaier board, if I
Mhm.
just took that one picture right there, would you say that's a Stonemaier game?
Yeah, no.
And I'm not trying to dog on it. It just right off the bat it didn't. And the other thing that kind of surprised me was I'm a visual player, man. I love when people have tricked out sets. And Marshall says the factory was 3D printed. He ordered it and then someone painted them. So
Gotcha.
it's
Okay.
pretty cool. And it's
What's
really it looks good on the table. The buildings themselves, the buildings that you can build that are a big part of the visual appeal, at least in the social media and the buzz and the advertising, they weren't that impressive to me. They were almost like, oh, and here's some buildings. I love playing with my New York 1901 buildings, right? My little 3D printed buildings, but they're not necessary. It's just something cool to play with. And that's what they felt like. It almost felt like the guys were looking at each other going, we would have been just as happy with some tiles in this one. And that is weird because I love when people trick out their games. So this is an unusual situation for me. I think I do need to play it a couple more times. I did like the breezy nature. I did like the fact that there wasn't a lot of attacking with each other. Might have been the civs that came out. It was more about building that engine in your civilization and growing it out and trying to score points.
How did you like the kind of starting civilizations? When I was looking at it, I was kind of so I mean part of the reason I like Civ 6 is the actual civilizations and kind of like how the mechanisms tie into the actual civilizations. But I also kind of appreciate going for more abstracted, generalized thing here.
These so I see what you're saying. So no, they don't represent real countries or anything. But I'll tell you, they really do play like their namesakes. If you've played any kind of Portal games, any of Portal's civilization games, you know how all of their each one of the decks plays completely different. It's that way in Tapestry. We had 3 different civilizations. We had the military one, we had the isolationists, and I was the traders. And we played 3 different games. I mean, I really was all about throwing out outposts. I didn't want to fight with anybody. I just want to throw outposts and say, come to my outpost, do something here. I'm going to get some cool stuff and so will you, right?
Yeah.
The isolations were like, we're going to be over here in our corner. Not going to mess with you at all. You guys have fun. And the military people are like, wait, I was looking for a fight and I got the isolationists and I got the traders.
I know. I was gonna say those 3 sound like trouble to get together. Like you can't trade with the isolationists, and it's risky business trading with the militant people.
The three civs together were probably the least player interaction that you could ever have in Tapestry, because none of the 3 played well together. They didn't want to have anything to do with each other. So that was kind of weird. And that's why I want to give it another chance, because it really was like 3 solo games playing together. I think in my outpost, I had 1 visit because the isolationists refused to visit my trading outpost. They refused to come. So yeah, I think I'm going to give it a shot. Do you have access to it?
No, nope.
Hey, Mick Fitch, you're right down the street in Houston. Come on by. We're going to set you up a game of Tapestry. Come on down. So love seeing Mick and Starla in the show. Check it out.